In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bets for Thursday, January 9th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Thursday NBA bet slate we got going on for January 9th here. But before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetsJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 8.78 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you're already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can grow to a much broader audience. All right, I really stress that, guys. If you're viewing this video right now and you're not subscribed, it doesn't take much for you to hit that subscribe button, join the community, and get connected. All right, now speaking of getting connected, we got that Patreon, and in that previous video we did absolutely phenomenal on Tuesday. All right, we almost clean sweep. We only got one wrong. It was everything else was completely right there. Hornets +5, that came through. Dallas Mavericks +6.5, that came through. Utah Jazz +6, that came through. The parlay that I gave out, community parlay, was +598, that came through with all those together with Boston Celtics. We had to throw a little bit on the LaMelo Ball triple-double and the double-double. I gave that out. He had the double-double, almost got the triple-double. That would have paid out phenomenally there. But if you guys want to get connected with a great community, you sign up to that link provided down below. You're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes out 24/7. Sign up. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game on the slate here, Detroit Pistons 19-18 going against the Golden State Warriors 18-18 here. Looking at the current odds for this game, we have the Pistons as home favorites here, -140 with the comeback of the Warriors at a +115. Point spread at a 2.5. This line has come down now, and the total points at 220.5. All right, these two teams have not faced this year as well. But for the injury report, we're going to be waiting on the news for the Golden State Warriors about Steph Curry, Dennis Schroeder, and Draymond Green. No indicator yet on those three players. We got to wait and see. Obviously, we're going to aim and act like Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Dennis Schroeder are going to be playing this game. But you got to stay tuned to news in this one here. For the Detroit Pistons here, Ausar Thompson, he's come down with an illness. He might be out for an extended period of time. And then we saw what happened to Jaden Ivey with his leg. He's going to be out for a while here. But shockingly, that has not mattered here for the Detroit Pistons, okay? This Pistons teams have been on fire. They won 5 in a row. And this is the second game of a back-to-back here. They just beat the Brooklyn Nets as we speak. That was a 15-point win. Very impressive there. But the Brooklyn Nets, they had a lot of guys out. Literally, no Cam Thomas, no Ben Simmons, no D'Angelo Russell. It was pretty much a bare bones team there that they took advantage of. They got that 15-point win there. Golden State Warriors, last two games have struggled against Sacramento and against Miami. Hopefully that Steph Curry can get some help here with Kuminga being back as well. So that's going to be a positive sign there. And this is the second game back-to-back. I understand how good the Detroit Pistons have looked, but this spread and this line is telling me that the value is on the Warriors. Plus, this line is somewhat adjusting. Right now, as we speak, is going to 3.5. Let's see if we get any up-to-date news on that. I usually go to Underdog NBA. Maybe it's been updated that one of these players is going to be out. Let's see if they give us any indicator right now. As of right now, no news the past hour, but this line is moving. It says 3.5 right now. Let me double check on ESPN for you guys just to go to scores. Let's see if it still says 2.5, or it might say even 1.5 for ESPN. So every source outlet can be a little bit different here. We still got 1.5 according to ESPN Bet. All right, so I'm gonna trust ESPN Bet here with the latest, and it's currently at 1.5. Yahoo Sports is showing me plus 3.5. So we're going to wait on news to see. But right now, I think that the value is going to be on the side of the Warriors as underdogs here in this spot. Second game of a back-to-back here for the Detroit Pistons. They've had a phenomenal stretch here the last 5 games, taking advantage of kind of lesser talent here between Brooklyn, Portland. Minnesota was a good win. Charlotte and Orlando, who's totally decimated here. I think the Golden State Warriors are in the bounce back mode with Curry and Kuminga back out the helm. Looking at the public bet percentage here, before I give you my play, 66% of the bets coming in on Detroit, but we have 57% of the money coming in on Golden State. Looking at the point spread, 65% of the bets and 55% of the money towards Golden State and the cover as well. For the total points, we have 77% of the bets and 64% of the money towards the over. All right, so I'm going to be agreeing with the sharps here. Give me the plus 3.5 on the Warriors currently. And for the total, I think this is going to be a high-scoring environment here between these two teams. Both of these offenses have looked much better as of late. So give me the over 220.5. In Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse here, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers 32-4 going against the Toronto Raptors here 8-29. Current injury here, Ochai Agbaji here is currently questionable as of right now for this game. We'll see if he's going to give it a go here. He's one of their better 6 men off the bench. Cleveland Cavaliers, they're still dealing with some injuries with Sam Merrill and then Luke Travers. Both of those two players are bench players here. With the Toronto Raptors being more healthy, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, they have their full starting 5 here. That's a positive sign for the Toronto Raptors. Looking at the current odds here, we have the Cavaliers at 1,600, minus 1,600 on the money line with the comeback of the Raptors at a plus 875. Point spread at 15.5. Total points set at 234.5. Public bet percentage here, 93% of the bets towards Cleveland, but we have 78% of the money. Very shockingly here, currently 78% of the money on Toronto for the money line. That is a big switch there. For the point spread, 71% of the bets, 77% of the money all over Cleveland to cover this spread. All right. So it's totally opposite here with money line and point spread. For the total points, we have 65% of the bets, 58% of the money towards the over 234.5. Looking at like I said, I just showed you the injury report. Looking at these two teams here, they've already played twice. Both of those games went towards the Cleveland Cavaliers in a 30-point win and a 14-point win. Both of those games were double-digit wins by the Cleveland Cavaliers, as you can see. In the second spread, it was minus 11.5. Cleveland Cavaliers covered that one, and the first spread was a minus 6.5 on the road. Cavaliers covered that, and now they boost this line all the way to 15.5. I want you guys to remember from this game a couple days ago, Cavaliers and Hornets. This is the same situation. It was the first spread was around 9.5. The second spread, the time they faced, was around 11.5. In the third spread, they boosted it all the way to 15.5. Just like they did in this game here against the Hornets and Cavs. And this was Sunday on January 5th. We have the same predicament here in this one. And you have the Cavaliers coming off a very big win, beating the OKC Thunder there by 7 points. So they were all-time high. And this is more of a letdown spot here, going up against a way below 500 team in the Toronto Raptors. This could be a sneaky spot here for the underdog. Yeah, Raptors on the 3-game losing streak. They're on the second game of back-to-back as well. But I'm telling you right now, Cavaliers were geeked up for that OKC Thunder game. They got that win here. And now you got to turn around and face Toronto here. Lesser talent, But looking ahead of the horizon, they have to face OKC coming up in a couple more days. So it's a sandwich spot here that you got this team here in the Toronto Raptors, and the value will be on the Raptors here. Give me the plus 15.5 there for the Raptors. For the total, if we're looking at it, the first game was around 242 points, and the second game was around 230 points. This total here is at 234. I expect this to be a little more competitive, so I think it's going to be a closer score, not much of a blowout. I still like the over in the total, all right? So best value here, plus 15.5. And give me the over on 234.5. In Kia Center here, we have the Orlando Magic 22-16 going against the Minnesota Timberwolves 19-17 here. Looking at the current odds for this game, we have the Timberwolves as road favorites -165 with the comeback of the Orlando Magic at a +135. Point spread close at a 3.5. And the total at 205.5. Looking at the public bet percentage here, 79% of the bets, 99% of the money all over the Timberwolves in this spot here. For the point spread, 76% of the bets, 85% of the money all over Minnesota. And for the total points, we have 82% of the bets, 81% of the money towards the over 205.5. Looking at the injury report here for the Timberwolves is just Rob Dillingham, their rookie point guard. He's been out for a while now. I don't expect him to be back in this game. But definitely stay tuned to news for him. For the Orlando Magic, Jalen Suggs, Gary Harris, and Moritz Wagner are all probably not going to play in this game here. The only big Q tag is Paolo Banchero. Paolo Banchero is supposed to come back in one of the next two games. All right, so right now he's questionable officially. So he might give it a go in this one. It might be the next game after. All right, so definitely stay tuned to news for him. They're probably going to give him a light load in this first game back. I think that the value here is on the side of the Minnesota Timberwolves to take advantage of the injured-plagued Orlando Magic as of right now. All right, as of right now, even if they give Banchero a go, it won't be at a full 100% clip, and he won't get his full allotment of minutes. And I think the Timberwolves, the way that they've been playing, that they can take advantage of this game here and get the win. All right, Minnesota Timberwolves on a 2-game winning streak, beating the Clippers and New Orleans when they had Zion Williamson back. That was a really good game there. Minnesota has been playing much better basketball behind Dante DiVincenzo, who's definitely emerged and playing somewhat similar to what he did with the New York Knicks. He's turning it around a little bit. They definitely need that three-point shooting threat there in the lineup for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They got Mike Conley back, their veteran point guard as well. So things are slowly turning around for Minnesota, trying to get things right for and with Anthony Edwards here. Orlando Magic had a big win against the New York Knicks here, and that's why this line is super close because they just beat the New York Knicks. And they have Paolo Banchero probably coming back in this game. We have to wait and see on that. I still think that the value is on Minnesota. Give me Timberwolves on the money line. Give me Timberwolves to cover the 3.5. For the over, I think the offenses are going to be fine here in this spot. I do got to think about the defense. Let me see. No, they haven't get it. So we're going to go with the over. That's a very low total at 205.5. I do think that Orlando can reach 100 points. All right, that's great. Basically, that's what you're telling me right here. Reach 101 to 102. I think they can do that. Give me the over on the 205.5. In Memphis here, we have the Grizzlies 24-13 going up against the Houston Rockets 24-12. Looking at the current odds for this game here, we have the Rockets -145 as road favorites in this spot. Grizzlies at a +120. Point spread at a 2.5. Total points at 230.5. For the full game public bet percentage, 68% of the bets, 92% of the money all over Houston. For the point spread, 60% of the bets, 61% of the money towards Houston to cover. And for the total, we got 79% of the bets, 82% of the money towards the over 230.5. For the injury report here, right now we're waiting on a majority of game time decisions if we're looking at this report. For the Houston Rockets, Tari Eason is going to be a game-time decision. Jabari Smith is going to be out yet again. For the Memphis Grizzlies, John Moran is trending towards playing this game. Right now, he's questionable. All right, he missed the last 5 games. but it is a positive sign. He's questionable in this game. Desmond Bane, game time decision. Jaren Jackson, game time decision. And Sante Aldama, game time decision here. Now, the way that the Grizzlies have been playing, it really doesn't matter, especially at home without Ja Morant. Obviously, this was a playoff game. Yes, we need Ja Morant here. Regular season, this team has been very tough to beat at home. All right, that's why you're looking at this record. Majority of these games is without Ja Morant. All right, they're 15-4 at home. They just came off a blowout win against the Dallas Mavericks there. Different story on the road. When they're at FedEx Forum, this is a very tough Memphis Grizzlies team here. Plus, we got a little bit of a motivation factor. They already lost to this team earlier in the season. 20-point blowout in Houston. Like I said, on the road, this is a much different Houston Grizzlies team here. Or at home, they are very formidable. I think the value here is on the side of the Grizzlies. Obviously, you want to wait and find out more information about Ja Morant, about Jaren Jackson Jr. as well. Those would be positive signs here. But they still play very good basketball without those guys here. Give me the Grizzlies with a +2.5. If you want to sprinkle the money line, fine, be my guest. But I definitely like the total towards over 230.5 as well. But the number one play will be Grizz +2.5. In American Airlines Center here, we have the Dallas Mavericks 21-16 going against the Portland Trailblazers 13-23. Looking at the current odds for this game, we have the Mavericks as home favorites -300 with the comeback of the Portland Trailblazers at a +240, point spread at a 7.5. Total points set at 218.5. All right, public bet percentage here. Nothing, no available data right now for the money line, but for the point spread, 51% of the bets towards Dallas to cover. We have 70% of the money towards Portland to cover that 7.5. Sharps are on the side. Sharps and public pretty much on the side of Portland to cover the 7.5. Total points, 83% of the bets towards the over, 84% of the money towards the over, 218.5 here. Looking at the injury report for these two teams, for the Portland Trailblazers, Donovan Clingan, their rookie center, he's going to be out. Matisse Thybulle, he's going to be out. And Jeremy Grant, one of their better scorers, is going to be out yet again. For the Dallas Mavericks, game time decision on Daniel Gafford. It'll be a positive. He can give it a go. Dante Exum is out. Kyrie Irving is out. And Luka Doncic is still out as well for extended period of time. All right, these two teams have played already 3 times so far. The season series has gone towards the Dallas Mavericks, and all these games have gone over. All right, first game was 268. Then it was 240, and then it was 248. All right, so big totals here. And then you have a very fishy total. All right, now you got the 218. You are factoring in no Luka Doncic, no Kyrie Irving, no Jeremy Grant here. And they take this total down almost 30 points here, going around the average of those other 3 games. And it's forcing people to take the over and smashing like it's an easy slam dunk here. All right, I'm going to question that. All right, for the Dallas Mavericks to win, they need to play defense, and you saw it in that LA Lakers game. All right, you finally saw some solid defense. They put enough offense together to get the W, and they really dominated defensively against a Lakers team that's been very efficient this season. All right, and that was a blowout winner, so that was very impressive. They have a formula here to get these wins, and the Portland Trailblazers is definitely a team they can take advantage of, despite the fact that being without Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic, this is a way below 500 team, and this is the second game of a back-to-back. All right, they just beat the New Orleans Pelicans, and this is a spot where they can catch the Portland Trailblazers. Think they're on a high. Dallas Mavericks have the formula to put things together, and they have the defense to do so as well. So we're going to go with the Mavericks on the money line. Mavericks to cover. We're going to go against the grain there and fade the public and the sharps. Give me the Mavericks to cover the 7.5. And for the total, give me the under 218.5. Vegas put that total there for a reason. I like the under in this spot as well. In Footprint Center here, Phoenix Suns 16-19, going up against the Atlanta Hawks 19-18. Looking at the current odds for this one here, Suns home favorites 210, -210 on the money line, with the comeback of the Atlanta Hawks at a +170. Point spread at a 5.5. Total at 236.5. So very high total in this one. Full game public bet percentage here. We have 75% of the bets towards Phoenix, and then we have 63% of the money towards Phoenix as well. For the point spread, looking at the percentage of bets, 52% of the bets on the side of Atlanta to cover, and then we have 60% of the money for the Phoenix Suns to cover. So it is split down the middle here on both sides, choosing who is going to cover the spread. All right, both sharps and public are split down the middle in this particular game here. Looking at the total points here, 65% of the bets, 65% of bets towards the over, and 63% of the money towards the over 236.5. Looking at the injury report for these two teams, we're going to go over to ESPN. We have Kongu, game time decision, who's been outstanding at the center position. Cody Zeller is out. Bogdan Bogdanovic is currently game time decision. Jalen Johnson is out yet again, and that's a big loss. And then Larry Nance Jr. Is also out as well. For the Phoenix Suns, we're still missing Royce O'Neal. He's going to be out yet again in this matchup here. Looking at these two teams, the last 5 games here, Phoenix Suns, they have been very up and down, just like the Atlanta Hawks here. Both of these teams have been very, very inconsistent the last 5 games. Looking at the Phoenix Suns, they did get a win over the Philadelphia 76ers and then wind up losing outright to the Charlotte Hornets. That was an embarrassing loss. We were on Charlotte for that game there. Atlanta Hawks, they've been struggling, losing to Denver, LA, Clippers. Almost lost to the Utah Jazz, and they literally had no one, just Lauri Markkanen. They had a ton of guys out, no Jordan Clarkson, and other cast of characters as well. But it came down to a Trae Young half-court shot, and he made it, and they got that win over the Utah Jazz. This is their extended road trip here. Phoenix Suns coming back home in this spot. And the Vegas line is telling me a lot here, that the fact that they're even favoring the Suns by more than 3 points tells me a lot. It's at 5.5. It was at 4.5, and it's moved up a whole point here. I think the value is on the Phoenix Suns because I think they can take advantage of the fact that Jalen Johnson is still out. That's a major factor here, all right? Jalen Johnson has been an absolute all-star this season, and it was a heroic effort from Trae Young in that game against Utah. But I think he's going to need more answers here against Phoenix Suns with KD, with Devin Booker, with Nurkic, and Bradley Beal as well. So give me the Suns on the money line. Suns for the cover of the 5.5. And for the total, looking at the last couple games, they have gone over this total the last 2 games. Technically, they've gone over this total 3 out of the last 5 games. All right, so I'm going to go towards the over 236.5. I think the Suns can put up a big number here against the Hawks here. As you see, the Hawks gave up 121 to the Utah Jazz. So that's pretty embarrassing there. Give me a complete sweep. Suns money line, Suns to cover, and the over 236.5. In the Delta Center here, we have the Utah Jazz 9-26 going against the Miami Heat 18-17. Looking at the current odds for this one, we have Heat road favorites -225 on the money line with the comeback of the Utah Jazz at a +180. Point spread at 5.5. It did open at a 4.5. This one moved up as well, and the total points at 225.5. Full game public bet percentage here: 88% of the bets, 90% of the money all over Miami. For the point spread, it's opposite: 60% of the bets towards Utah and 58% of the money towards Utah to cover the 5.5. For the total points, 83% of the bets, 84% of the money towards the over 222.5. These two teams already played earlier this, a couple days ago. Remember, this was that 36-point blowout there. Miami Heat lost at home against Utah by 36. Absolutely surprising loss here. Looking at the injury report, for the Miami Heat, Kevin Love, game time decision. Josh Richardson, game time decision. Jimmy Butler still serving his suspension. And for the Utah Jazz, Keontae George is out. John Collins is out. Jordan Clarkson is out. And Bryce Sensabaugh is a game time decision. All right. Lauri Markkanen is going to be fine in this game here. But with these two teams, This is, they just played each other a couple days ago. This is definitely a revenge spot here. What I saw from the Miami Heat against that Golden State Warriors team gave me a little confidence back in this unit here. And plus, they just faced this Utah Jazz. There's going to be some adjustments here so they can get this win. We saw it in that Golden State Warriors game where they allowed Stephen Curry to go off, and they still had enough to get a double-digit win there against Golden State in Golden State as well. That was a very solid win. I like what I saw there. Utah Jazz been playing tough, definitely. Beat Miami, beat Orlando, almost beat Atlanta, but it came down to a half-court heave, and Trae Young hit it there. But I think the value is going to be on the side of the Miami Heat. That's why the line is set like this at a 5.5 on the road for the Miami Heat. After getting beat by 36 and they set the line like that, that tells me a lot there. Give me the Miami Heat on the money line. I think that Miami Heat get the revenge and cover that -5.5. We're going to fade the public here. As you can see, fade that public. And for the total, I think that the Heat can put up a big number against them. Well, the question is, we'll go with the over 222.5. Very slightly, I lean towards the over in this one because I see the Heat putting up a big number. I'm just debating about if the Utah Jazz can score on the Heat's defense. All right, but the main play, Heat money line, Heat to cover the 5.5 as well. In Crypto.com arena here, we have the LA Lakers 20-16 going against the Charlotte Hornets 8-27. Looking at the current odds for this one here, Lakers home favorites -400. With the comeback of the Hornets at a +310. Point spread set at 8.5 and total points set at 219.5. Full game public bet percentage here, 96% of the bet, 67% of the money on the side of the LA Lakers. For the point spread, more on the side of Lakers as well, 59% of the bet, 62% of the money towards the Lakers to cover that 8.5. And for the total points, 88% of the bets, 90% of the money towards the over 219.5 in this game here. Looking at the injury report for these two teams. Injury report for Hornets, clean slate. They got LaMelo Ball back. They got their starting five back, Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller. This is a formidable lineup that they got now for the Charlotte Hornets when everything's clicking. For the LA Lakers, Christian Wood is out. Cam Reddish is game time decision. Jalen is out. Anthony Davis is game time decision. And Jarrett Vanderbilt is out. All right. For the Lakers, they have been playing very poor basketball here. The last 5 games, losing 3 out of the last 5. And embarrassing loss against Dallas with no Luka, no Kyrie. They outright lost that game, got blown out in that game, and then lost to Houston Rockets by 4 here. Had a tough loss against Cleveland earlier in that 5-day window as well. For the Charlotte Hornets, they finally got a win. This was a team that's been losing, but they got LaMelo Ball back and got a big win over the Phoenix Suns. And this team is dangerous when they have LaMelo Ball. He can create, he can shoot, he's doing everything. All right, he's been phenomenal this year. He leads All-Stars in voting as well. This guy is really stepping it up this season here. And the value is on the side of the Hornets for me. I cannot trust. Late game, everyone's going to be slapping in the LA Lakers as a definite here. And I think that this is going to be a trap. Give me the Hornets plus 8.5. I think that's going to be too many points. I believe that the line will open up at a 9, a 9.5, 9.5. If you got a 9.5, great value there. This line has already moved the whole point. It has been a few hours that it's open. So give me the Hornets here plus 8.5. Get it now before it gets lower. And for the total here, 219.5 is going to be an over. If we're talking about a competitive Hornets team, that means they're going to be putting up points. Lakers can put up points as well. Give me the over 219.5. Those are going to be our selections for the Thursday slate. Let me know in that comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? We can definitely debate about that down below in the comment section. If you want to sign up for the Patreon, get connected to a great group. All right, you go to that description, you sign up, you're getting access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes off 24/7. I'm telling you right now, future bets are already out. We still got the college football playoff that's out and still definitely doing great right now. Both teams are still playing right now. If you want to find out who I think is going to be in that championship game and who's going to win it all, go to that description right now, click that link, and find out who's going to win. All right. If you want the NBA Finals future, that's going to come out very, very soon. I'm going to drop that soon, probably right before All-Star break, but that's coming out soon as well. Get connected. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon. Peace out.